Flight, Hudson, Hut. Element 1, report.
All present and accounted for, sir.
Element 2, report.
All present and accounted for with the exception of route now, sir.
Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Seats. Welcome everyone who's online to the MS 100 class, week 9, and today we're going to get announcements started real fast. The uniform of the day this Thursday, it's going to be short sleeve blues, but first year, as always, have the option of professional wear or t-shirts. Next slide. Who's in color guard? All right. The practice times change every Monday and Thursday at 3:30 to 4:30 at the CMA room. Listed testing for all those who are E4s or above. You can take a test to improve your rank. It's in the CMA room the 1st and 2nd of October at 3:20. All right, that's all the announcements, and today we have Tech Sergeant Beltran from Embry-Riddle is going to be talking.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, I know, what was your name? Cadet O'Connell?
Cadet
McGee. He mentioned that I'm a tech sergeant. Anybody know what rank that is? Sir.
6, sir.
E6, correct. Good job. If I had t-shirts, I'd give it to you. But, so I'm just here to talk about my background. First of all, I work at Embry-Riddle at the Air Force ROTC program. And what we do is similar to what you guys do here. It's just we do it with college students. And so we do somewhat what you guys do, maybe a little bit more hardcore and whatnot. But I do that there, and like you guys saw, Colonel Malfro was our commander, and last week, so I work for him. So a little bit of background. I'm originally from a city called Waipahu, Hawaii. Anybody know where it is? Hawaii, anywhere? No? On what island? No? Oahu, yeah, correct. Well, I'll give some time, but what it is born and raised in Waipahu, Hawaii. My dad's actually retired Navy, E6 also, so that'll be a good thing when I hopefully become E7. I can outrank.
What rank is that, sir? Is that the same, the Navy?
No, Navy is a petty officer, first class. And so that's where I'm from, right here. If you look, it says Waipahu, right there. If you look, that little water area right there, anybody know what that water area might be? Pearl Harbor. Go. And so we're on the other side of Pearl Harbor, but if you can scroll to the right a little bit, sir, that's Ford Island, and that's where Pearl Harbor, that's where the bombing occurred back in the day. And Ford Island actually now, anybody watch Hawaii Five-0? No? But some of the filming there in Ford Island also. Some cool things. I did go to Waipahu High School, and it's actually right there against the water. You can see our football fields right around right there where the hand is. And I don't. How big is the school here? How big is it? How many students? 2,000. So right around the same. Maybe even smaller. Maybe 1,200 students. But in high school, I had no aspirations of being in the military at all. My dad was in the Navy. He was always gone. I just didn't want to do that. I didn't think that was cool. But so I just went on, played sports. Anybody play sports here? Basketball? Football? There's no volleyball here. Baseball. So I played football, basketball, and volleyball. We had men's team out there, boys team. But all I wanted to do is just have fun, live it up in Hawaii. Graduated high school and I surfed for 4 years, just being a beach bum, going to school. And so thinking I would go to school, but actually never really get any far in college. So 4 years came along and I said, you know what am I doing with myself? Nothing. Go to the beach, getting a tan, that's about it. In Hawaii, job opportunities are very hard to get, so I talked to my dad. I said, Dad, I'm joining the military. I'm going to be like you, go in the Navy. Well, my dad said, no, don't go in the Navy. Go in the Air Force. So I said, all right, I'm going in the Air Force. So I joined at 21. I turned 22 in basic training a week later. Joined basic training, did basic training in San Antonio, Texas. Everybody from here? Everybody's originally all from Prescott? No. Anybody from Texas?
I'm from Texas, but El Paso.
El Paso? Okay. So, spent about 6 weeks there, did my basic training, and I actually joined as a utility systems apprentice. Anybody might know what that means?
Hold the light.
Pretty close. Yeah, pretty close. Actually,
That's the best thing I can.
that's kind of similar, actually. Actually, in layman terms, that's a plumber. I joined become a plumber. And actually, so I went and finished school. We did that. My first duty station was Nellis Air Force Base. Anybody might know where that is?
Is it in Nevada?
Yep, Las Vegas, Nevada. And so I spent about 5 years there in a unit called Red Horse. Anybody might know what Red Horse is? Anybody know what CBs are? CBs. The CBs, SEABEES. That's the construction battalion for the Navy.
My grandpa was a CB during Vietnam.
Oh, awesome. So Red Horse is the Air Force version of CB. So and actually it means Rapid Engineering Deployable Heavy Operations Repair Quadrant Engineers. That's what Red Horse means. In the military, you want cool acronyms, and that's what Red Horse means. We got to wear red hats when nobody else could, so that's kind of cool. Been deployed to Kuwait. Been deployed to Guyana. Anybody know where Guyana is?
Okay, hold on. Let's get these slow so they
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
can speak where these nice.
Oh, sure. Kuwait.
Oh, wait.
Kuwait.
I don't know where I am.
And actually, that's the south part of Iraq. And so that's where I went for the Southern Watch. What we do, we went there and we built 2 buildings. We go out there for 3 to 4 months at a time. We start from bare ground construction. We build buildings. So that was my first year or so to Kuwait. The year after, September 11th happened. And so after that, a few months after September 11th happened, in January, I left to go to UAE, Al Dhafra, United Arab Emirates. It should be right there. Abu Dhabi's right there, sir. And so that's where I went the year after. Actually, it was pretty cool. After September 11th, you think it'll be kind of, hostile or whatnot. Not at all. Got to go off base, eat McDonald's, Subway, It's kind of cool. So we spent there about 6 months, did some time there. We built up the base. We doubled the size of the base. We just did whatever. One thing is we did work pretty hard, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, no day off. If we were good, maybe we'll have a day off every week or so. So that's what I did after that. I went to a country called Guyana. Anybody might know where Guyana is? Pay attention, Gold Rush. That's where they're going next on TV show. Guyana. Well, it's in South America. And I believe it's the only English-speaking country in South America. They speak kind of like Caribbean.
You get Georgetown?
Yes, sir. Georgetown, exactly. And so that's where I spent for a little bit, for a couple months. And then after that, I got tired of leaving my wife. Had a family, had a baby girl on the way. My son was about 2 years old. She just got tired of me leaving, all of being gone. And I kind of related to that, being my dad was gone. So I said, okay, it's time for me to move. So I put in for Korea because that was the only way to get out of the red. Typically, if you wanted to stay there, you could spend your whole time there. So I went to Kunsan, Korea, which is the southern part of Korea, which is about 50 miles south of Seoul. So I spent a year there, where I started to do civil engineering, which is more maintenance and construction. So as a plumber, doing maintenance, what do? Flush toilets, you know. Yeah, that wasn't for me. And so I got tired of it. Well, a year went by, and now I got stationed in California, Vandenberg. Anybody know where Vandenberg is? Where in California? Nah, actually 3 hours away. If you can know the shape of California, it's kind of like an L, and there's an elbow right at the end. That's where Vandenberg is. There it is. One thing cool about that base, their mission is to launch missiles. Being that it stuck out further, continental U.S., that was a great place for missiles to shoot out. And we did have quite a bit of missiles out there. And one of the cool things about my job was I had to inspect fire suppression systems, which I'm happy here. But I would have to inspect silos. You know where the missiles are? So I go down in the elevator, go all the way down, and inspect those fire suppression systems, which is pretty cool. Well, at that point, I was at a point in my career where I had to decide then if that's what I wanted to continue on in my career or find another job. That's one thing cool about the Air Force is, you know, a certain amount of periods in your time, if you wanted to change jobs, you could. And so that's when I decided, you know what, I want to change jobs. And sadly enough, I said, I don't care what job it is, what's out there, give me whatever's available. And so, actually, it was a blessing, and I got this job, which is more administrative paperwork. We take care of everybody's pay, and you know, for the most part, you would think it's boring, but you know, I did some cool jobs also. I became a unit deployment manager, where I got to take care of all the people that I was deploying. I got them their uniforms, I got them their weapons, made sure they're trained up to what they needed to do, and I did that for a while, you know, alongside of my job. So I did that was at California for about 5 years. And that's when the Air Force said, hey, it's time for you to go somewhere else, to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. I said, all right, cool, Daytona Beach, Florida. You know, I said, all right. And then I look and no, it's Prescott, Arizona. Where's Prescott, Arizona? So came out here and I love it. I love every bit of it. Right now, what I'm doing is with our cadets is somewhat similar to what Colonel Peoples is doing. Probably not as a higher level as what he's doing, but I get to interact with the cadets, get to talk to them, give them some career path guidance, advice. And also one thing cool about that job is as you graduate from that school and from our program, you get to be second lieutenant. And there's a tradition with the second lieutenants. You get a first salute from an NCO, an enlisted member. And so each time when the graduation goes on, they do, if they select, they ask me, hey, would you be my first salute? What they do is I salute them for the very first time. After we salute each other, they give me a silver dollar, which is pretty cool. And so right now I'm up to $3. So can't get rich quick, but you know, hopefully, and it's not about the money. It's actually just having the honor to do that, to do that for them. And so that's my career goal. That's my career path as in a nutshell. But personal goals that I have, you know, initially when I was growing up, I just had nothing. I had no drive. I just wanted to play sports, have fun, you know, hang out with friends, and just go to the beach and just goof around. Well, that changed quick, you know. once I realized, hey, what am I doing with my life? There's nothing I'm doing. So I decided to join the military and get the best out of it. See the world, get out of Hawaii. Hawaii is just a very small island, and there's not much you can do other than there. Here you got Prescott, but then you can go to Phoenix. You guys can go to Flagstaff and do all that stuff. Well, we're just stuck on one spot. I decided, it's time to see the world, and I did. I've seen the world. I've been all over many states. I think I'm up to like 12 maybe states now that I've been in, and not just driving through, it's just spending time. The military sent me out there for a few weeks, 2 months, doing that. So, but one thing I've learned, when I joined the military and then joining the Air Force and actually working in Red Horse is the work you put into things is the outcome you get out of it. You reap what you sow. Whatever you put into it, your hard work you put into it is what you end up getting at the end. And so, I've got a few awards just by working hard, and get some recognition and whatnot, and that kind of helps you out as you progress through your career. So that's one of my goals or some of my mantras, just to work hard at what you do, get that good work ethic. Regardless if you're plunging the toilet, you just do your best at plunging that toilet. So that's one of the things I really take pride in is doing my work as best as I can. And that's what I want to, pass on to you guys is, if you're doing your math homework, just do your best at doing that math homework. And, right up front, you don't see much, but in the end, it'll pay off. And so, actually, some of the goals did change, At first, when I did join, I was like, I'm just going to do my 4 years. Get out, go back home to Hawaii, and just spend my time, do my duty and serve my country and go back home and be a surfer bum again. Well, with my, I got married, had a wife, got kids. That kind of changed. Now I have to support my kids, support my family. And at that time, that's military was a place, job security. I had something to do. I had steady paycheck coming in. I had a house to live in, food on my table. I was happy. And to this day, that's my goal now, is just support and provide for my family. And actually, the military has been very great to me for that. I'm living here in this wonderful city, Prescott, Arizona. I love it. I love the outdoor stuff, just going out there hiking, fishing, mountain biking, off-roading, anything you can think of outdoors, I love doing. And so take pride in that, what you have here too. And let's see. Well, that's it. I want to open up to questions, anything you can think of. We're going to just do the rest of the time doing that. Yes, sir.
What kind of grades did you get in high school?
Excuse me?
What kind of grades?
That's a good question. Actually, oh boy, wow. Put me on the spot. Actually, probably barely 2.0. The only reason why I got 2.0 is because I played sports. And in order to play sports, you need a 2.0. So I wanted to play sports. And so I just did whatever I needed. And looking back at it, I wish I could change some things, I wish I got better grades so that I could go to college, get my degree, and then maybe do what the cadets are doing at Embry-Riddle, getting good grades, getting accepted, doing that Air Force ROTC. And actually, at a point in my career, there was a time when I mentioned that I wanted to get out, There was a point in my time that I was like, do I stay in or do I get out? And there was nothing for me out. If I knew about this program, this ROTC program here in Embry-Riddle, I probably would have thought about it a little bit differently and maybe go to school and get my degree and go through that route and become an officer. Well, I've been in for 13 years now, so it's not too late. It's just I love what I'm doing. And for me to try to pursue my officer, commission, I think it's just not for me. But yes, I did not get very good grades, 2.0, if that. So, good question. Yes, sir.
Have you made a lot of good friends in the military?
I have met great friends. Actually, being in Red Horse we lived with each other for 3 months to 6 months, and we lived in tents. Probably from there to there, 6 people in a tent. 6 months at a time. And so we really got to know each other. And to this day, there's some friends that I still keep in contact with, and really, 13 years later, really, I call them my real close friends. Yeah, definitely.
Was there ever that one guy that you're like, that one guy in the tent?
They're always stuff like that, but you just gotta deal with it, Yeah, for sure. There's sometimes, sometimes just get to know that person and kind of see where they're coming from. Yes, sir.
How did you like being a Red Horde?
I loved it. I loved every bit of it. It sucked that I was away from my family, and maybe that's the part that made me leave, is because I was always gone from my family. But the camaraderie that we had, the group of people that we made friends with, and the places I got to see and the things I got to do. I took pride in building things. We'd run water lines and sewer lines, and actually we'd have to do construction. We'll use heavy equipment, and bulldoze stuff and everything. So it's actually pretty cool. I enjoyed every bit of it.
You have any cool stories to tell? Like things about things you've done, anything like that?
Cool stories, huh?
Tell them about the deployments to Kuwait and Ghana and some unusual things.
Okay. Actually, yeah. In UAE, in Abu Dhabi, we had a real terrible storm, and we lived in tents. And so one of the crazy things was Red Horse was a little bit smarter. We built our camp on a higher ground, so all the water runned off, but we still had to build sandbags. And so we're making sandbags in the middle of the night with winds blowing everything, trying to make sure our tents don't fly away. And we built sandbags, and we actually did pretty well in keeping our camp set up. Well, the next day when the storm all settled down, we went down to main base, and their tents were 20 feet away, and they were in knee-deep water. And those are one of the things that, if you're prepared for things and you kind of set yourself up for that type of stuff, we were better off than other people. Let me think of one in Guyana. Well, it's not really a story, but one of the cool things we got to do was they have a fall called Kaitri Falls. It's one of the largest waterfalls in the world. And we worked with Army and Navy out there. Well, the way we got to our job sites was we were helicoptered out. And we passed through that fall. So some of the times they would go along the waterbed and just go through, how the river's going. And then they'd really go straight down the waterfall and then come back down. So that's one of the cool things I got to do was ride those helicopters with that. That's one of the things. In Korea, I got to, my work vehicle was a Hummer. So that was kind of cool. It got me anywhere, it never got stuck. I think that's it. I'm not as cool as Colonel Malfoy, where he has his fighter stories, with his planes and whatnot. But one of the cool things is my job is now I can support these commanders. And they look at me, not as, a lower person, but someone that they can look to for advice also, and get my point of view. So that's one of the things I like also. And actually, my goal eventually is to make E7 Master Sergeant, and hopefully, become a First Sergeant, and actually get to interact with the airmen, and actually kind of do what I'm doing here, but at a base. So.
Why don't we show them his for the enlisted troops? Show them. This is the pay chart guide you guys can expect in the military, and you choose this option. Of course, those of you who have taken JROTC for 3 years would enter E3 here as pay the first day you walk into the military. And actually, I've done the math. If you take the difference in this number, 15, 16, and 17, $250, right? That's $250 difference. And you think about how long it takes to come in E3 or whatever.
It's about 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh, two years.
So you save 2 years of $150 a month by taking this class, which is crazy. So if you think about all the people who actually get into the military and do not take our class, losing to you. You're choosing to take it. But, you see about, how much money he's talking about making, and that's pretty significant money. And this is called base pay This is not everything he gets. He also gets, explain to him about the system.
Oh, yes. So that's just my base pay. That's just being, here you go. This is what you get for serving in the Air Force. Next thing we do is we have something called EAS, which is the base for subsistence, and that's food. And I get another $330 for that. And then addition to that, they give me a BAH, which is a base allowance for housing. And I get, here it depends on where you're at, the area you're in, but here I'm getting about 15.7. So that does add up, and with the medical, free medical and whatnot. The pay is actually pretty decent. I got nothing to complain about. It's not a doctor's pay or whatnot, and I can't get whatever I want. But it's just it pays the bills, and it's a roof over my head. Yes.
Per week?
This is per month.
Per month.
Per month.
How'd you?
Dang, Air Force is big.
You all signing up, huh?
$4,000 per week.
I would sign up if I would be like.
In 1 month, you make over $20,000.
That's good.
The basic retirement, which probably would be different for you guys, 25 years. Basic retirement is that if he gets to 20 years, say the numbers right here, he basically gets 50% of that the rest of his life. And so he got in at 22, so at 42, the rest of his life, he'd have $2,500 every the rest of his life for doing nothing. And doing nothing, for being retired.
Yeah, I've been here for 13, got 7 more. I'm on the downhill side, I'm here for another maybe 3 years.
In the
Here at Embry.
oh, I never wrote it. Okay.
So anybody who's a sophomore or higher. So if you go to Embry, and you want to do the program, I'd probably still be there. Yes.
Do you want to stay in Amarillo for the rest of your career?
I wish I could. Unfortunately, with the military the way it is, it's not good to be at one spot for too long. If I could do 7, I probably would. But the Air Force would probably tell me to go somewhere else before that. So, but I would. I really would stay here. Embry is good to our program, and they help us a lot. So I definitely, and I like having that impact with the cadets that we have, just being able to interact with them and just give that positive impact. So, anybody thinking about joining any military branch after you get out of here? Okay, anybody want to go to school, college?
GI Bill.
GI Bill.
Yeah.
Well, you can do both. You can do both. So that's definitely an option for you guys out there. But definitely keep your grades up. So don't be like me. But I'm happy where I'm at. Everything turned out fine. Everything was good the way it is. So I'm pleased with my career so far. I met cool people, and then I have some. There's some lieutenants that just graduated just recently, and to know that I have an impact on them. Some of them are going to be, fighter pilots. One of them is actually a secret agent, a special agent. Sorry, not secret agent, special agent. But they work for the Office of Secret Investigations, Special Investigations, and so I keep on saying secret because that's what we call that.
It is top secret.
But right, it is. But that's one of the cool things that they get to do is investigate and whatnot.
Could you explain to me how the ROTC ranks relate to the Air Force?
Actually, I think
Is
it's
it the same thing?
I think it's the same, isn't it?
Okay.
Airman Basic is you guys start with E1, then E2 is Airman. So it's the same. I believe it's the same. E1 to E9. All the Master Sergeant stuff. That correlates very well. I don't know if you guys have any officer.
Yeah, we do. We have officer first, second lieutenant, first lieutenant.
That's the same. That's the first 2 ranks. So captain, major,
And then cadet
lieutenant,
commander,
colonel,
that's
colonel, and then the general.
We don't have cadet colonel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
How was basic training for you?
Oh, basic training. It's practically getting yelled at for about 4 weeks straight until regardless if you get it right or not, they're yelling at you, and they're just what they're doing is just breaking you down, getting you out of your lifestyle and getting into the military Air Force lifestyle. So for the first 4 weeks, you're just getting yelled at and yelled at. You just do whatever they tell you to do, and you just do it. And then by the 5th or 6th week, they give you more freedom, and they kind of give you decisions, and you do whatnot. But very, you have to be mentally strong, you know. You gotta be able to just, you know, say yes, sir, and do what they tell you to do, and do it, you know. Smile, yes. And if you were to, you know, say something and get you know, out of hand, then you'll be the special attention every time you get out there. They'll know your name, and actually in basic training, it's not really a good thing to know your name unless you're doing good things, and really there's really not much recognition you get out of there. So if they know your name, you're not doing well. But it actually got me into that mindset of the military, and kind of, you know, breaking me down and getting me out of my mode of my laziness of just, you know, I'm just a surfer dude, you know, hey, you know, type of laid back and whatnot. But it's an experience, I'll tell you that for sure. You guys won't have that opportunity as far as, do you guys do drill?
Yes, sir.
We do, yes. That's part of the
And test offs?
evaluation.
Do they do test offs where they get questioned?
Test offs, no, we do drill as part of our leadership education.
Okay.
Actually, we'll have an evaluation of that part of this semester. It's called a 30-step drill maneuver and stuff like that.
Okay. So we learn those things too? We do learn facing movements and marching and everything.
So it helps if you already know those. Actually.
Oh,
Well,
definitely.
this is why
Definitely.
they get the E3 rank after 3
Yes.
years and stuff.
And right, exactly. If you go through this program, the JROTC program, it definitely put you ahead of the rest of the people that had no experience, because now you guys know the Air Force ranks, you know, depending on what branch you go into. But you actually have an idea of what the ranks are, and then now you see the ranks on your drill instructors, and you kind of, you know, you can call them by who they are, and if you make a mistake, then that's not a good thing either. But then you're used to saying sir, used to saying ma'am, you know, so that really helps you out being in this program, definitely.
What rank are your drill instructors, sir?
I had a staff
Right,
sergeant,
right.
E5, and an E6 tech sergeant. So, but you can be an E4 senior airman as a drill instructor. Yes, you could. And it's a trip. I mean, you know, they wear these hats, smoking bear hats, and they got rules, but they come real close up to your face, you know, and I mean, it's how you react. It's not your answer really of what they want. It's just how you react back to them and how you answer. If you don't know, you don't know. So that actually, and I take pride in this, but my TI did not know who I was, so. I introduced, you know, my parents to him when we graduated, and he looked at me like, "Okay, who are you?" So, you know,
I'm usually just like, yes.
yes, exactly. I kind of take pride in that.
You went. I didn't even see you.
Exactly. So, yes.
What was the hardest part of basic for you?
I think being, you know, born and raised in Hawaii, being away from home, 21 years away from, you know, in Hawaii, and just getting taken out of that, and just a culture shock, you know. You know, wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, type of thing, and then everything. So that's probably the main thing. Is probably miss home, and just miss my lifestyle. But I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't, not at all. So how long more we got, sir?
We got about 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Yes.
What are some things you didn't like about being a Red Horse?
Being away from my family. Other than that, I really love the job. I love everything about it. Yeah, really. I love doing things with my hands. I love building things and everything. And you know, it was great. It was great. We got to camp out every 3 or 4 months. We go in the middle of the desert in Nevada. And we camp out for a week, and we protect our base. You know, we play war games, kind of like how you guys play with your airsoft guns and paintball guns. We play with blanks, obviously, but you know, we have to protect. We have
Those
to
were
protect
live
our base.
rounds. Uh-oh.
But,
Put that bullet in your shoulder.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things. And actually, the place where we went out and camped out was it's a base now. It's called Creech, where they have remotely piloted aircrafts flying around. So it's kind of big. It's like a car, the size of a car, but it sounds like a lawnmower flying around the place. But that's one of the places we go. Not really, not really. You know, I mean, it's just flying around like you know, you can hear it. But that's the base that they're at now, and so yes.
This is kind of far, but like, what did you want to be when you were a kid? Like, what
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good question. Actually, growing up, I knew I was good at math, and so I wanted to be like an engineer. You know, I didn't know what kind of engineer. I just wanted to be an engineer. You know, and then I mean, it's just the cool things like firefighters and whatnot. But growing up, as I went on, you know, I wanted to be a professional surfer. Really, I did. I mean, growing up in Hawaii, I mean, who wouldn't, you know?
Yeah.
And actually, I played in a punk band, actually, too. So, I mean, surfing and playing in a punk band, I mean, that was life right there. You know, I had enough money to put gas in my car and go to the beach. But not much more after that. So, yes, and actually, you know, engineer is actually probably something that I might still pursue. Being here in Embry-Riddle, I can still do that. And actually being in the Air Force, after you do 3 years, and actually it's any branch, after you do 3 years, you can do the GI Bill also. And you can go to school. They got something called a tuition assistance, and you can go to school for free while you're still in the military. Obviously, it's after work, online, or whatever, but you can still get your college degree while you're enlisted in the military. And so I'm about, I say maybe about 3 or 4 classes from getting, you know, my community college of the Air Force degree. And so I'm almost there. Actually, obviously, you know, school took a back seat to my career, but now where I'm at now, in order to make the next ranks and so on and so forth, schooling is very important for that. So. Anybody want to be like an engineer or anything like that? Anybody good at math? A little bit?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about it maybe.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, you really got to be good at math and good at time management because that's a very tough thing to do. Yes?
I'm enlisted in the United States Marine Corps, and
Okay.
my first job is going to be motor T.
Okay, what's
I'm
that?
Driving Humvees,
Okay.
and fixing up the engines and that
Nice.
kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, are you a senior now? Or?
Yes.
Okay. So, as soon as you graduate, they got you? Or
June
what?
17th.
June
I
17th.
got my dates. Yeah. Oh no,
Okay.
I'm like fearful, almost. I spoke to a guy in my recruiter's office. I spoke to a guy. He's like, 2 things to do before you leave for basic: eat a lot and get a lot of sleep, because you will not get any while you're there. And I was like, oh, it's the exact same thing you would.
It's like, why did I do that?
What? Yeah.
It's like, why did I do that?
Yeah, he's like the first 30 minutes. He was like, why did I do this?
One thing cool at our program, we got a couple cadets. This is the first year we actually have other branches other than Air Force. They did their 4 to 8 years or whatever in the Air Force or whatever branch they did, and they got out and now they're going and getting their degree. One of our guys just one of them. He was a Marine sniper. So. You know, there's still life. You know, you can still go to school after. You know, but he don't want to do the ground thing anymore, and he actually want to fly. So that's why he's at our program.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe after a few years, I'd go to the Air Force.
Anybody like flying planes? No. So I mean, you know, that's Air Force planes. You know, do you guys get to go? I think there's like air shows down at Luke Air Force Base in Phoenix. They have some out there too. So definitely. I mean, what's funny is I'm in the Air Force, right? But I don't like flying in planes. So kind of weird, you know. But you know, there are other stuff. Like I would wear my uniform, you know, go to the fries or something, and people come up to me, you know. I said, oh, you're in the Air Force. I said, yeah. And they're like, you're a pilot, huh? I was like, oh, I know. Or people come up to me and, hey there, soldier, you know, and I said, oh, I'm better than a soldier. I'm an airman. So. But that's some of the things that I really like about here is the community is very supportive to military people. So that's one of the things I like here. You know, being near a base at other stations, you know, there's so much military out there that they feel like they're getting invaded. You know, this is my town, and when the military coming in, type of deal. But here, you know, we got 9 of us, 9 Air Force active duty here. So I like that a lot. You know. Yes.
This has nothing to do with the Air Force. But is there like an airport on every single island in Hawaii? Like.
Yes.
Okay, just making
Yes.
that would be really hard.
Yeah, actually, yes, they are. But you can get to other islands by boat.
How long would that take?
Long.
Days?
Then there's one, the nearest island from Oahu to Maui, I think it is. It's a 4-hour boat ride, but it takes about 30 minutes.
Yeah, on the plane, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cheaper on the plane.
Tell us about Hawaii.
Oh, actually, one of the cool things about Hawaii is they have these races from an island to island on canoes.
Oh my gosh.
Here, let's race 5,000 miles. Yeah,
And then you have like 5 or 6 people on there, on the boat. And what they do is they're followed by motor boats, and they switch out. They jump out. But I mean, they're in the ocean. You know? So they're in the building.
They got like sharks out there.
Oh yeah.
That looks like it'd be pretty cool though.
It is actually. You know, people train and they take pride in that one. My buddy paddles.
Kind of fun though.
They also have the newest thing right now. It's called paddle boards. Have you guys seen those?
Yep.
And that they do that around the island. Yeah, and so it's just pretty cool. Yeah, it's a big surfboard, and you got a canoe paddle that's longer.
Oh,
Paddle
okay.
standing
It's
up
where you
on
do
the
that
board.
sort of thing?
Yeah.
I've never seen that. I mean, I've heard of it, but I've never seen
Uh-huh. Yes.
What? Okay, so there's Big Island, which is Hawaii. And
Yes.
Maui, and then Oahu.
Yes.
What's the last one?
Last one? You want to go? There you go, right there. You got Hawaii. Then Maui's the next one on the left, and then you got Ho'olawe right there below it, the small one. And then Lanai, it's the other small one. Then you got Molokai that just looks like a shoe, right? And then you got Oahu, which is where like everybody lives.
Yeah.
And then Kauai, and then Ni'i. And actually on Ni'ihau, right? Ni'ihau, there's a family that owns it, the Robinson family. And what it is you can't go on there without their permission.
You're kidding. Me.
They own that island. Right.
So chill.
There was like an island.
Just like, it's like, oh, what do you do?
What's
I
that?
got an island.
Yeah, there's like this.
Like tiny little island up to
Like,
the
yeah,
That
right
island
there.
right there is
Oh, right above it. That's probably part of it. It's not a. Yeah, it's not a major island. There's like 8 major islands.
There's tiny little islands all over.
Oh yes,
I'd
definitely.
love to go to like the Marshall Island area. Just find an island, be like this one.
Actually, there's one island on Oahu called a Chinaman's Hat. Looks like a Chinaman's hat.
Really?
Yeah, and you can actually swim to it. And when it's low tide, and you can walk up for it. Yes.
Hawaii, the Big Island, is like than all the other islands combined.
I don't know about that. Maybe. Yes.
If you find an island that no one has ever been to, can you claim it as your own?
I don't know.
If no one else does.
I'm pretty sure there's every island that's been found by now with all the GPS and
Yeah, that's true.
But that island right there, Kaho'olawe, no one lives on it.
But it's
It's
still a part of it.
uninhabited. There's nothing on it. What the Navy used to use it for and the military is they use it for training areas, go and bomb it. And so there's a lot of ordnance. There's a lot of ordnance on there that
So
probably.
it would be a bad idea to go there and just like build a cabin. It would be a
Right.
bad idea.
Because it's like, oh my gosh, there's a cabin there. We do.
But yeah, yes.
First pick.
If I could change something or do something else, one thing that I thought was cool was it's called sensor operators, and it's what it is you're not on the plane, but you're controlling the plane from a room, and you control the camera.
Kind of like the Predator.
Right, you control the camera, where the pilot actually flies the plane. You control the camera that kind of surveys the area. And so that's one of the cool jobs. It's called sensor operator, and they actually get paid extra for doing that, which is kind of cool. You get flight pay for being
For sitting on.
What do you
first
say?
seat.
and you get flight pay. So that's one of the jobs I would really think about if I could. I would. That's one of the jobs. And then there's other cool jobs where flight engineers, where you're on the plane and you take care of everything on the plane. But then again, I don't like flying, so that kind of is a little bit harder. Yes?
Would you say yes if the Air Force wanted to see you in like a combat job?
To be honest with you, I'll do whatever the Air Force tells me. I mean, that's not the Air Force answer, that's my answer. Like I said, I take pride in anything I do. And, I was taught that way. I do, whatever they tell me to do. They're putting money in my pocket, so I do what they tell me to do, obviously. But no, I just take pride in it. And actually, I really thought Red Horse, we were one of the few units that had our own guns. I got to the unit and they said, "This is your gun," and that's my gun for 3 years, type of deal. We did keep it in the armory, but we'd have to shoot it every 6 months, and that was my gun all the time. So that was one of the cool things too.
If you wanted to, could you just take it out and go shooting with it, or
No.
did you have to use your personal weapon?
You have to use your personal weapon. You only take it to the military range and shoot it downrange. Yeah, unfortunately, that would be cool though.
It's like, I'm gonna go ahead.
But yeah, actually, the gun that I had at that time, it was full auto. So I mean, I know you guys like firearms and everything, but it was full auto, so you could just get on the trigger and go. And auto went to the barrel turns around. You really could. So
We got about 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Well, so my thing to you is, if I want to pass on anything to you guys, is to just take pride in what you do, regardless of what you're doing. And like I said, if it's plunging the toilet or doing paperwork, I try to do my best at what I do. And that's what I want to pass on to you guys. Just get that good work ethic, regardless of what you do. If you do end up joining the military, or when you fix that Hummer, when you're driving that Hummer, do your best. So that's what I want to pass on. Again, I'm Tech Sergeant Michael Beltran, and I'm actually at Embry-Riddle. So if you guys are ever in the area near doing a tour with the school, and you guys come through the Air Force ROTC, stop by and say hi.
Yeah, I know Tech Sergeant Beltran.
There you go.
Let me.
All right, give a round of applause.